Okay, perfect. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, we are ready to go. Welcome everyone to our JackBT virtual meetup. Today we're going to talk about coding and collaboration skill a junior developer must have to get hired on awesome projects. Today we have joining Mr. ABM Kausar Paturi, who works at EPM System all the way from Chicago, USA. And we have also Sajjad Bhai, who works at Dynamic Solution Innovators, I think, right? At Dhaka
Yep.
office. So welcome everyone, guys. How are you doing? Kausar Bhai, how are you doing, man?
Yeah, it's going great. Yeah, the weather is great after a long time. I mean, it's so cold last couple of
Okay.
days.
What is the
It's going
temperature over
great.
there?
Well, it's just above 0 degrees, so you see how bad it was.
Okay, it's almost freezing. Sajjad Bhai, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Thanks. How are you?
Okay. Well, I'm really excited about this project and this initiative. We're obviously going well so far. We're doing this bi-weekly, and I'm sort of committed about this, and I really want appreciate your helps. With your helps, we'll able to actually achieve the goals. I mean, we'll able to make a vibrant community in our country, and also help the developers, and we'll also get to learn from them as well, right? So we are basically collaborating a lot of things and communicating with junior developers, senior developers, intermediate developers, and getting a lot of information. And good thing is we are also getting help from international developers as well. We have also some committed people who are going to talk in our session, in our future session, which is good. And we are also planning to do some physical event in this year. Maybe next one will be happen in the February, hopefully in the mid or last. So we were talking about the sponsorship and other stuff. So everything is doing, everything is going good, I would say. And obviously for that, you guys, I need your help. And I mean, not just help, you are going to be actively involved in this project, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So without further ado, let's start with this topic. Before going to talk about the coding and collaboration skill, I would like to present a small presentation. That is, it's not going to be a long presentation. It's going to be maybe 30 minutes, or not 30 minutes, 15 minutes, I would say. So sorry, my mistakes. It's very vital, and I think it's important to know all these junior developer. I've been there. I did all sort of mistakes when I started careers, and I think this is going to be beneficiary for everyone, especially those who are started their careers. They have experienced 1 or 2 years of they are going to be greatly benefited from this small discussion. So I'm going to start with these three mistakes a junior developer makes that prevents them from getting hired on emerging projects. uh, Obviously, getting hired is not something easy. It is really difficult, especially for the junior developers. There's various reason, I know, uh, industry always people industry always want people with right skills, and junior software developer does not always have those. And from the in the academy, we get we get to learn a lot of things, like we get to learn programming and acquire some knowledge from the university, but which are not always enough to be able to work on really industry in the industry or emerging project, I would say. So I was in once in a junior developer, and I faced the similar problem, and this is I'm sure common common to you all. You have been uh, you are also you were also a junior developer once in your career when you started. I'm sure many of you face this kind of similar problem. And I also get a lot of frustrating messages from junior developers from this project. I mean, JackBD. They they send I can particularly tell you one junior developer sent a message a few days back with he said that he's really into Java programming and want to work on interesting project so that he can learn. However, he always end up doing same dull and simple CRUD based application. Even he doesn't always uh, get hired on the project he want to get worked on, right? So this is kind of problem, but still uh, people getting hired and working on the big companies on amazing projects. This is just happening, right? So we are in a certain period of our career, and we are doing some amazing projects. So from this experience we have learned there is always way from the experience. And we can always and we can conclude that there's three big mistakes that every junior developer makes that could easily be solved, and I will show you what I have learned and which in fact works. So let me go to the first mistakes. That is uh, every junior developers initially think that the best way to get a job is to send resume. uh, I don't deny that there is a common understanding that to be able to get hired, first we need to work on resume and have to send to the hiring company. Well, this works sometimes, in fact, but most of the time it doesn't. I'm sure you have this similar kind of experience. Most of the resume get in fact traced. The reason is that the company doesn't know you. Let's say you send a resume and the company, the hiring authority or hiring manager or HR doesn't know you, or even the engineers doesn't know you. They don't feel confident you will able to work on that project. So I'm going to share a small secret, that is, most of the best job do not even show up in the job board. Like you have sort of p- website called BD Jobs, Stack Overflow Career, and lots of others as well. And the best job never shows in those website. So this is a kind of this is a big secret, I would say. Software industry recruits employee from their trusted networks. If their trusted networks become exhausted, only then they put the job into a job board. uh, in fact, let me share another things. I know that in a few company there are always some openings and they never to tell you. I mean, they will never tell you. They will hire from their trusted networks, from their peers. I know that guy, that guy know that guy, sort of way. So this is true. This is a true story. Even I have got my current job from the network. I was known to someone inside the company and I was called. I didn't even send the resume prior to getting the call. So this solution is simple. I would say it's networking. You have to be known to the people where you want to get work, and for that, a junior developer can do a few things. One is attend various events. For example, we do Java user group events and we do virtual events, and there are other events in this country, and even there are a lot of international events. Though not that every events are physical, a lot of events are online, so you can always able to get uh, to join those events. And you can ask question when you are in an event. You can ask question directly. It's an opportunity. For example, we are doing this session and we have some experienced people joining us, so you can always ask questions directly, and it's really an opportunity. You should really not lose this opportunity. Besides, create your online presence, create a blog and write a post regularly. So I'd like to ask you a question, those who are listening to this webinar. How many do you have blog? Or we have a chat section in this YouTube page. You can comment on there. The question is, how many do you have blog and you write regularly? Uh, answer this question, and also write something from where you are and how did you know about us. Okay, so that we can get better understanding and give you some feedback and suggestion and some pointers. So okay, so next thing I would like to share is I'd like to tell you is join some open source project. So this way you will able to uh, be known to the people where you want to work, and you will get called instead of sending resume. So it's easy, isn't it? uh, so that's the mistake number one and the solution. I hope you have learned some idea, you have got some idea. So definitely don't do this mistake. Next, the mistake number two, that is okay, I have already covered the solution. They get very worried about the interview process. This is quite common, and I'm sure everyone is worried about the interview process. And obviously, this is very intimidating because you will never know what question you are going to be asked, right? It's random. People ask random question in the interview, so you will never know. I was in such place. I was started reading a lot of books, learn deep knowledge, Java deep knowledge, solve random questions, and a lot of other stuffs. And end of the day, I felt like being crazy. It's not possible to learn everything. I mean, really, we cannot learn everything. So always there. Well, I would say there is an easy way. Imagine a scenario: you walked into a job interview, and the interviewer looks at you, and his face just lights up, and he says something like that: "Hey, I know you. Mm, I have read your blog post. The way you solved that particular problem was really thought provoking." So if this has happened during the interview, you can surely tell that the chances of getting offered is high, right? So I would say, so definitely sharing what you know is important. Creating a blog where you write you about stuff you know can be very good way to be known to the people you intend to work with. So there is I'd like to share another secret with you. That is, most interviewer decide to hire people based on the non-technical factors. This is really true. Just remember, non most interviewers decide to hire people based on the non-technical factors. Remember this. There are many cases when a technically competent people didn't get hired because of being arrogant. So it's remember this, don't be arrogant. You can be a really good developer, you can be a really best of the best, but if you are arrogant you will never get hired, especially if you are a junior developer. So being friendly and humble is very important. Beside to ease the interview process, a junior developers can a few things. So I have some suggestions here. If there are companies that you would like to work for, come up with a plan to meet at least one person working at those company and build a relationship. So again, network is important. And secondly, find a local user group and attend the meeting. Introduce yourself to as many people as possible. Create a network. Discuss the topic that excite you and things you learn. So this is the solution, and this can really go a lot. I mean, you will able to learn it. You will able to get hurt easily if people knows you. Uh, so this is the second, this one. This is the mistake number two and solutions. And finally, I would like to talk about the mistake number three, which is they do not have the coding and collaboration skill needed. Well, this is crucial mistake that junior developers struggle with, and they really don't know which are the coding and collaboration skill that required to the work. Ultimately, when you are getting hired to a company, you have to work, right? You have to write code. You have to develop a product, you have to sort of deliver the product. So to be able to do that, you really need some coding and collaboration skills. And today we are going to talk about those coding and collaboration skills. And I have come up with a blueprint which I'm going to share with you. And they are I'm going to show you, and end of the day I'll show you a end of the presentation I'll give you a link, uh, which is um, which is going to be where you will able to download the blueprint. And before discussing showing that, I'm going to discuss briefly about the coding and collaboration skill that you need. So these are the 7 coding and collaboration skill. I think everyone here will agree. If you can able to master those skill, it's going to be really easy for you to be able to get hired on amazing projects wherever you want to go. First of all, you'll able to know how to read code. I mean, in software industry, in being a software developer or software engineer, whatever you say, you have to read a lot of code. It's not that the code you write, it's always the people, other people writes code. So you have to know how to read codes. To learn how to read codes, you have to read a lot of codes, and there is no way of getting out of this. So read a lot of codes, get to the github, github.com, and find an interesting project and start reading those code. And find something find interesting stuff from that. And from there, when you will read others code, you will able to know how people solve a particular problem, and you may come up with a better solution combining those ideas. So it's always help. And second is be able to write code. Well, you have to learn, right? Be able to learn code. uh, Ultimately we're going to write code. The job of a developer is to develop a product and deliver this product. To be able to develop a software or software product, you have to write code. So there are certain rules and regulations, to, how to write a good code. For example, you have to be able to know how to write clean code. There's lots of design patterns, you have to know that, so that you don't reinvent the wheel. And so these are the things. And in the blueprint you will able to see, I have mentioned a lot of, I have pointed a list. And obviously we have a great speaker joining with us, Kausar Bhai and Sajid Bhai. They will share some insight with you guys. So I'm not going
Yeah,
to
sure.
yeah, I'm not going to this talk about all of this now. Rather, let me briefly go ahead. Be able to use tools. For example, you really have to know how to write, how to use tools. For example, IDE. Uh, we write codes on IDE. There are so lots of tricks and tips which can make your life faster, smooth. So you have to know those tips and tricks. And finally, and the fourth one is be able to deliver code. Ultimately, you are going to write code and you have to deliver that code. So how you are going to deliver that code, you have to know that, right? And software. And the fifth one is the software development is most collaborative project, I mean, in on the earth. I'm sure you have known about the Linux, right? It was the most collaborative software on this earth. Hundreds, thousands of developers collaborated with this piece of software. It's common to every software projects, every serious software projects. You will have to work with a team, and a team may involve people, a lot of peoples. So you have to know how to collaborate with others, how to. And the sixth number is communicate. You have to know how to communicate properly. For example, you can be arrogant. For example, your team member may suggest an idea, you cannot dismiss this idea immediately without proper explanation, or without mentioning why it is not uh, good. And you cannot be arrogant. So you have to find a way how to say politely, how to be humble and friendly. For example, you can ask your teammate, can you tell me how did you come up with this idea, and is there any better way to solve this problem? Or there are a lot of techniques, in fact, to communicate properly. So we'll discuss about that also. And finally, seventh, the finally, which is be able to learn quickly. Well, the software industry is ever changing. You are going to learn always the new things. So it's better you know how to learn, how to learn new things. So you are always going to learn a lot of new things. So it's always better. There are certain learning tactics, I would say. Few people learn, everyone has different way of learning. Uh, for example, someone may be comfortable reading books, someone may comfortable watching YouTube lectures. So there's, you have to find your own way, and you will able to, so that you can learn quickly. So these are the seven skills, coding and collaboration skills. It's, I think if you can master those things, you will able to go a way far to for in this industry. So that's the quick uh, short presentation of three mistakes, and we're going to discuss about the coding and collaboration, and open this floor for questions. So please ask questions as much as you can, and we want to answer as much as we can in this duration, in this presentation. So thank you. And end of the presentation, I'll share with you the blueprint with you. Okay. So thank you, everyone. So let's open the floor for questions. And Kausar bhai, Sajid bhai, do you have any? We can open the discussion now. Let's discuss about the things which are pressing.
Yeah. So, do you want me to go first, or Sajid, he can go
Yeah,
first?
you can go ahead.
Okay. So let me take the presentation,
Yeah,
and
sure.
so from here on, I'll conduct the presentation. Okay.
Sure.
So, guys, you can see my screen, I guess, right?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Cool. So yeah, here it is. Oh, okay. So here I'm here to talk about Dreyfus model of skill acquisition. So the basic idea is to uh, this is introduced by Mr. Dreyfus and brothers, and they discuss about how people learn, how they achieve skill, how they become uh, from a beginner to an expert, and they researched it on 1980, and they're from California, Berkeley. So there are these four qualities, and these four qualities are reconciliation, recollection, recognition, decision, and awareness. Depending on these four criteria, we can decide what are our skill level and where we are right now in terms of our expert hierarchy. Are we a beginner, or are we a novice, or an intermediate developer, or some expert? We don't know, but we can apply these four criteria or four qualities, and from here we can understand where we are right now. So these are recollection. So it is kind of remembering something, recognition, process of recognizing something as it says, and decision making, awareness of the situation. So let's see what are these five skill level. So Mr. Dreyfus, he said that there are these five skill level depending on these four qualities. Okay, these are novice, advanced beginner, competent, proficient, and expert, as you can see already. But what are these? I mean, how do you say, okay, I'm a novice, I'm a advanced beginner, competent, proficient, expert, or something? I'll come to that. So before showing what level I'm right now, let's see what are the some basic example or some basic power of this skill level. Okay, so what is the power of this uh, novice people? So I will say a person novice if he follows something strictly. I mean, say if I shown you that okay, if you write system out dot print line, then it will print some string in the console. Then it's the strict rules. I mean, that's the only thing you know. And is there any other way you can do this? Yeah, you sure we can do this, but do we know, or as a novice developer, do I know? It's this is hard for a novice to answer this kind of bit advanced question. They just follow what they learn. I mean, if you are a new beginner, I'm learning Java and I'm learning some new technology. So I'm kind of that person. So I'm still as a novice, it is hard for me to add my opinion on some new ideas or some solve some problems. Now next level is the advanced beginner. Okay, so when I'm learning, and then after my novice level, there is this competence level grows, and I can solve some problems on my own. I know what is happening. So if I have to solve some big problem, maybe I'm not able to solve the whole thing, but with some instruction or some guidance, I'll be able to solve. And I know what's happening, so I have some idea what's going on. But still, I'm struggling because I don't know which one is important, which one I need to look into, and what are the problems I need to look first. Or if I have to solve problems, how do I approach the how do I solve the problem? I don't know. So still, this is the problem of advanced beginners. So what is the next level? So next level is the competent level. Okay, and this is the middle between expert and the novice programmer. So how do I say? I say I'm a competent level. I mean, I'm moving away from my uh, beginner level. So if I am able to solve a problem on my own and I have my own ideas, maybe it's not efficient, maybe it's not correct, but I have my own ideas. Now I know. Okay, yeah, I'm in better shape now, better situation now. I can handle situation. So I feel confidence on my own. So these are competent people. And then proficient. So they knows what are they doing, and they knows most of the things they need to do, and they knows they can solve problems uh, on their own. But they struggle to solve new problems. I mean, maybe I've solved something I have seen already. So I can understand these kind of problems. Say maybe, for example, uh, let's say take a look at Bangladesh team. Okay, they know how to win. So and they already own some critical game on some tough situation, and they know how to win. So they can execute this and they can win regularly. I mean, following this. But if there is some challenging situation come up, like some new situation, how does Bangladesh cricket team is gonna win? I mean, and it's just a metaphor or an example. So similarly, I mean, in a programmer's life, I mean, we'll have to solve some similar kind of situation. I mean, we'll have similar situation. We don't know what's going on. How do we solve the problem? We have never faced such a situation. So these are the problems for the limitation for the proficient programmer. And maybe still this proficient programmer can guide some other novice programmer or some other people. But still they struggle when they have to solve some new things. And the holy grail, the experts. So these are the angel people. They can think beyond, and they doesn't care about the rules. Okay, they make rules. These are the people make rules. And when you talked about this profession, they knows everything. I mean, they knows how to solve a problem, but they follow those rules. These for proficient people, but expert, they just do it. I mean, they just do it. They are not aware of they're doing right or wrong, but they do it right. Why they do it right? But they do it from their intuition. They knows what's happening. I mean, like when I talking. or how I'm writing, I know if I'm writing right or wrong, and if it is correct or wrong. Uh, Similar thing. I mean, they just do it from their own gut feelings. They need not to concentrate too much. Say if I'm playing chess, so maybe I have to concentrate too much. And an expert player, they'll just keep moving on. I mean, they don't have to worry too much, and they know what is going to happening and what are the actions they are going to take and what is the outcome. So they have a vision, and then the best thing is that analytical analysis. So when the challenges come to solve new problems and we don't know how to solve these new problems, how do we how do we attack this problem? I mean, there is no teacher, there is no people to guide us. So how do we address this situation? So here comes these expert people. So they does it from their does it from their own basic ideas, basic knowledge. They just have their own intuition and they apply those analytical process. Okay, they can try different things and solve these problems. Now there is this skill matrix from Dreyfus. Um, I'm just taking you right to the wiki page. I don't want to put it because it will be. I mean, I guess you guys should take a look. So this is the model if you want to take. So these are the binary qualities: recollection, recognition, decision awareness, and